President Muhammadu Buhari today announced replacement for Ibrahim Magu as EFCC Chairman Abdulrasheed Bawa is to face the Senate for confirmation. And Saraki-led PDP Reconciliation Committee meets former President Goodluck Jonathan. Former Senate President Bukola Saraki says Jonathan is not leaving the PDP. Hello everyone and welcome to Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbaloye in Lagos. Let's tell you first and foremost, because there's been a lot of talk. So will former President Goodluck Jonathan leave the PDP for the APC? There has been a controversy within the political space for some weeks now. But it appears the former president may be staying in the PDP. That's it's been known after members of the People's Democratic Party Reconciliation Committee, led by former Senate President Bukola Saraki, met with the former President Goodluck Jonathan at his residence in Maitama, Abuja. The former governor of Gombe State, Ibrahim Donkwombo, former secretary to the government of the Federation, Pius Ayim, former governor of Cross River, Leah Limoke, former House leader Mulikat Adeola Akonde, and former governor of Katsina State, Ibrahim Shema, are all in attendance at that meeting. Senator Saraki speaks about the meeting afterwards.
We were here to talk about the party. We talk about what role we can all play in reconciliation of different parts of the party, what role people like former president like himself can play. And he left us feeling very happy that, yes, he wants to play that role in PDP and in uniting the party and helping us, this committee, to move forward. And it was a very, very useful meeting. As you see, it took us close to an hour and a half, which he spoke, gave us his views. We felt very happy. It reassured all of us his strong commitment to the PDP, and he's still ready to offer his time, his experience, his resources to strengthen the party. That was very strong and important for us because, as you know, there's a lot of funny stories going around, but we left here very, very happy with his level. Not only that, also ready to see how we work with the Reconciliation Committee to play his own role. So that today we believe is a great step for the party. And we'll put that behind us, all those of the other parties that keep on like to come and disturb our leaders. So our leaders have no here, and we're working for this great party.
It's interesting because recently we saw some meeting from the APC, some leaders of the APC meeting with the former president, and now we are hearing this today. Well, you know politics in Nigeria, anything can happen. But well, let's put that aside. Tonight, our focus is on the new appointment made by President Muhammadu Buhari. 40-year-old Abdulrasheed Bawa might be replacing Ibrahim Magu on a permanent basis as EFCC chairman. We'll dissect that for you in a moment. But before we get into that, let's check out some other stories that you need to know on our political roundup.
President Muhammadu Buhari today met with members of a delegation from Borno Yobe Elders Forum led by the governors of both states at the council chamber. The National Security Advisor Babagana Monguno, the Shehu of Borno Abubakar Ibn Umar El-Kanemi, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation Boss Mustafa, Ministers of State for Works, Humanitarian Affairs and Agriculture are among other senior government officials who were also in attendance. The Borno and Yobe Elders Forum are requesting that the federal government sustain military operations in the northeast region. The Borno Governor Babagana Zulum told State House correspondents that President Muhammadu Buhari has given an assurance that the federal government will do all within available resources to guarantee national security. And the Northern Governors Forum are calling on all Nigerians to eschew violence and acts capable of promoting hate and disunity. Speaking in Abuja after a meeting with Northern Elders Forum led by Professor Ango Abdullahi, the chairman of the Governors Forum and Governor of Plateau State, Mr. Simon Lalong, harps on the need for elders at all levels to promote unity at all cost. He adds that the Governors Forum will continue to engage Nigerians across board in order to ensure that the peace and unity of the country is not threatened by any group.
Part of the meeting came out was to find ways of also calming the nerves and also to assure our northern brothers that, yes, measures are being taken.
The House of Representatives is cautioning public officials against statements capable of provoking aggressive reactions from the public. This was the resolution after a motion raised by Representative Dachong Bagos, which was directed at the Governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, on his statement, justifying why herdsmen should carry AK-47s. The House is worried that the statement could cause unrest among farmers and other innocent Nigerians who may be forced to resort to bearing arms as well. A federal high court in Abuja has turned down an ex-parte application seeking to restrain Mr. Mohammed Adamu from parading himself as the Inspector General of Police pending the hearing determination of the suit challenging the elongation of his tenure. Justice Ahmed Mohammed held that since parties have been served with the originating processes, it would be unfair to grant an interim injunction against the Inspector General of Police.
Thank you so much, everyone, and let's get talking. Today, President Muhammadu Buhari wrote to the Senate seeking confirmation of Mr. Abdulrasheed Bawa as substantive chairman of the EFCC. According to the letter the president transmitted to the Senate, President Buhari says his request is in accordance with paragraph 2, subsection 3 of part 1, cap E1 of EFCC Act 2004. Mr. Bawa holds a BSc degree in economics and a master's degree in international affairs and diplomacy. Was one of the pioneer EFCC cadet officers in 2005. The former acting chairman of the EFCC, Mr. Ibrahim Magu, was suspended by the president to allow the Justice Ayo Salami-led Presidential Investigation Panel probe his activities in response to some of the allegations against him. The Senate says that they will screen the nominee, that is Mr. Bawa, for the position of EFCC chairman. Mr. Abdulrasheed Bawa will be presenting himself before lawmakers at plenary. Well, no date is being announced just yet for the screening exercise. But for those looking out for where the Magu matter ends, it does look like the president has moved on, or does not want him in that office any longer. No word yet on the outcome of the Justice Salami report, at least as much as the public is made to know. Well, has Justice Salami report been made public, or the president acted on it? That is yet to be known. Has justice been served? That's a big question. Was Mr. Magu justly removed? That's another question. What is the competence of Mr. Bawa for the EFCC chairman role? That's what we're getting to talk about tonight. I have joining me on the program tonight the Executive Secretary of the Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption, PACAC, Professor Sadiq Rada. He joins us from Victoria Island in Lagos. And we shall also be joined on the program by a lawyer and activist, Mr. Tosin Ojama from our Abuja studio. But let's begin the conversation with Professor Rada. Thank you so much, Prof, for joining us tonight. Give us your view about what we have seen over the last years when we saw Nuhu Rabadu to Farida Waziri, Madam Farida Waziri, to Lamode, to Magu. And now Mr. Bawa has been presented, appointed by the president for confirmation. It's been a very, very difficult and tough period for those who have headed the EFCC. But what should we expect from this nominee? How much of him do you know?
Well, thank you very much for this opportunity. Let me begin by saying that the appointment of Abdurrashid Bawa represents paradigm shift. Paradigm shift in the sense that we used to have serving police officers or even retired heading the EFCC, but today we have a proposal to have pioneer cadet officers heading the EFCC. So Rashid Bawa represents a paradigm shift. Number two, Nigerians should be convinced beyond any iota of doubt that the fight against corruption is going on and will continue to go on as long as we have this government. Fighting corruption is not negotiable. Number three, having a young man like this at the age of 40, again represents another paradigm shift. We have been having people who are 50 and above, some even 60, some retired. But today, we have a young, vibrant Nigerian. Therefore, here we are with a young Nigerian with a lot of experience regarding the fight against corruption. And therefore, we'll see the extent to which he will serve as a very good example for the young generation in this country. This is one of the major problems of this country, corruption. And here we are with a very young man to be appointed to solve a major problem that affects everybody. So this one is a litmus test for our young generation. And I'm very happy to have somebody like that. Number four, I came across him within Nigeria and abroad in our struggle to tackle corruption in Nigeria. And I know he's doing well. He has been doing well. I am quite confident that Nigerians should expect nothing but excellence. I say this with every sense of modesty and believing that him alone will not be able to deliver the country from the problems we are facing. But by the time you have a young man like that, somebody who has risen through the rank, somebody with the expertise, with the commitment, with the qualification, and with a network across the country and abroad, is likely to deliver much, much better than we are expecting from him. So I feel today we should be happy as a country. Today we should be happy as people who are disturbed, worried, and bothered about corruption in Nigeria. Today we should be happy that we have somebody who can bring something new into the mix. We have been having a certain pattern. Today is a paradigm shift. We hope and pray that the new arrangement will serve this country much, much better by tackling corruption in the most effective and efficient manner. So to answer your question, we should expect excellence. And much more excellence can be obtained if all Nigerians give the EFCC under him the much needed cooperation.
All right, Prof, just for a moment, let me go to our Abuja studio. We have about a minute before our first break, but let me bring in Mr. Tosin Ojama. Mr. Tosin Ojama was one of the lawyers to Mr. Ibrahim Magu. Mr. Ojama, how does this appointment of the president come to you?
Well, Seun, sincerely, I need to tell you that this appointment came to me as a shock. Why I say it's a shock because what I was expecting is that there is still an unfinished assignment which was pending. I was expecting that the issue of Magu would have been sorted out before moving to another state. But unfortunately, we just got this news today that a new chairman has been nominated by the president, and his name has been forwarded to the Senate. You know, but nobody can question the prerogative of the president to nominate an acting a chairman for the EFCC. But it's just the fact that if there is a matter that is pending as regards the commission, because the Salami panel did just investigate Magu. The whole commission was subjected to investigation. So I was expecting that the report would have been made public and maybe a white paper issued on that matter before another step is taken.
Okay, let's take a breather, everyone. But when we come back, it's interesting. Mr. Magu, we're talking about here, studied economics in his first degree, accounting in his first degree. Mr. Bawa studied economics in his first degree. Interesting perspective into the capacity of this man and who is going to take over. But we'll be staying on the report of the Justice Salami on Mr. Magu, the capacity and competence of Mr. Bawa, and the task before the Senate. Don't go anywhere, everyone. We'll be right back to talk more. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us right here on the program. Tonight, our attention is anti-corruption war in Nigeria. It's one of the agenda of President Muhammadu Buhari and the APC right from 2015. There was a Transparency International report which came out recently, and some of the what came out of that report is being debated largely. But tonight, we're discussing what President Muhammadu Buhari did today, the appointment of Mr. Abdul Rashid Bawa to be the new chairman of the EFCC. Professor Sadiq Rada is the Executive Secretary of the Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption. He's been speaking with us right here on the program from Victoria Island, Lagos. And Mr. Tosin Ojama, a lawyer and a counsel to Mr. Magu, who was being investigated by the Presidential Committee. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for talking to us. Let me allow Prof to respond to what Mr. Ojama, the issue he raised, as regarding the report of the Justice Salami Committee that investigated Mr. Magu and the EFCC at the time. Prof, what's your take on the fact that we do not know the outcome of that report? Should that report have been made public before this announcement, or what is your view on that?
Well, I don't think it's really desirable or necessary to have the report out before the government takes certain actions. Key to everything that the government should do is what can we do to add value in the fight against corruption. I'm happy the last speaker said it is within the mandate of the president to appoint, and there is nothing wrong or untoward. The government appointing somebody it feels after due investigation that will deliver. So I feel with or without the report, government should act. But to think that the government has to produce the report, share it with the public, debate it, and things like that will be a tall order, because government has its own priority. There are things known within the circle of government which are not known to some of us who are ordinary citizens. As a result of that, the government will look at the totality of the issues at stake, what is on the table, and take the right decision based on available facts in the best interest of what is in front of us, which is the fight against corruption. I want us to, much as we want to know what the content of the report, I want Nigerians to accept this nomination in good faith. Let us look at the credentials, the capability, the competence, the know-how of the nominee. Can he deliver? And some of us who know him can attest to Nigerians that he can deliver, especially if his colleagues within the EFCC, other stakeholders in the fight against corruption, and by stakeholders here I mean the judiciary, civil society organizations, the ministries, departments, and agencies, and even ordinary Nigerians should be able to help and make his work easier, because an individual can go.
Yeah, Prof. Sorry, apologies for cutting it. Yes, but I just want I want you to quickly give us your view on this. Would you say justice has been served in the case of Mr. Magu, considering the decision of President Buhari today? Does it mean that Mr. Magu has been indicted? Because if he was not indicted, perhaps he would have been returned to his office.
Well, don't doubt anything that Magu performed wonderfully as the chairman of the EFCC. I am not disputing that. He did well I know him closely, he delivered, but you cannot know the totality of the conduct of an individual in official dome. So you cannot say there are no problems, or we cannot say there are problems. Therefore, to say that there is no justice or there is justice will be preemptive as at now. Ours is a nominee has gone to the National Assembly. Let us see how we can encourage such a nominee so that we don't have distractions and diversion of attention. Yeah, we want
Prof,
to see the report.
Yeah. Prof, let me bring back Mr. Ojoma because of our time. Mr. Ojoma, would you say justice has been served in the case of Mr. Magu?
It is obvious when we talk of justice, you know what justice is all about? Somebody was suspended to be investigated, waiting for the report on the same issue of, as an acting chairman of a commission, he was suspended for an allegation which has not been proven against him. And at the end of the day, the report which everybody was expecting to know whether the man has been found wanting or not, suddenly no report came out and another appointment was made. So you know what justice is. Justice clearly has not been done in this matter to Magu, because we are talking of people's integrity. Reputational damage has been done to people. It's not just about Magu alone. There are other people that were suspended at the commission. So all these people, their integrity is now at stake, as if their matter is a forgotten matter. For me, I always when it comes to issue of justice, I always the word of justice, Oputa, always come to my mind. That who talks about issue of justice? He said justice is a three-way traffic. Justice to the complainant, justice to the person who is accused, and even the society also wants justice. In this matter, justice has not been done to the Nigerian people because everybody was expecting to know the outcome of this investigation. There were a lot of news in the media. Magu has 500 billion found in Magu's account. EFCC officers stole this and that. So people have now been people have now been put in suspense as to
Mr.
what
Ojoma,
was the outcome of the investigation.
Sorry if I may cut in quickly.
Society, ordinarily.
Yeah, sorry. If the president had moved on because he's made another appointment, does it not speak volume about perhaps what is found in the report? Maybe, just maybe, is a speculation that that report is not in Mr. Magu's favor.
Hello, Shion, I can't get that. I didn't get what you say, Shion.
No, so the point I'm making is that if it does look like the president has moved on by making this appointment today, and from that body language, it does look like that report, the content of the report, is not in Mr. Magu's favor.
No, Shion, I think that would be speculative to say the report is not in Mr. Magu's favor, because it will be speculative to just assume that the report was not in Mr. Magu's favor. Ordinarily, of course, some inquiries have been conducted in this country, and at the end of the day, reports are released, and people will be able to make their own independent judgment from the report of the investigation. But in this case, an investigation was conducted. At the end of the day, report was not released. Everything was, it's all media report that people are relying on. I think that this is what they call government is accountable to the people. We are talking, the people, the government ought to let the people know the reason for this new decision. It is normal everywhere that it has to be done like that. Because when we are talking of transparency in governance, this is what it entails.
All right. So let's close the program now. Prof, just in 20 seconds, Mr. Magu was rejected twice when he was presented to the Senate. Do you see any problem for Mr. Bawa when he goes, when he's presented to the Senate for confirmation?
I think based on his credentials, based on his antecedents, and the fact that he's a very young man, his vibrancy, and the fact that he represents a paradigm shift, I expect the Senate to consider him favorably. This is because he has a lot of local and international experience. He has the integrity. He has the network. You know, fighting corruption requires network within and outside Nigeria, and he has all that. Moreover, he represents a paradigm shift in two senses. One, he's a very young man. Two, it's not the same conventional heads we used to have from the police.
All right.
He's a cadet, and therefore we expect things new from him.
Professor Sadiq, the Executive Secretary, Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption, PACAC, thank you so much for your time. And also Mr. Tosin Ojama, lawyer and counsel to Mr. Magu, thank you indeed for your interventions tonight. Well, that's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimbale. Bye-bye.